Hello, all. Um, Rojo, good to see you. Fuck, I'm sorry this is your first Lunatic Live you're catching. This isn't a good one. I've been debating whether or not to do this for a while, but it's lately started really bothering me, and I've been fucking worried that this was just gonna come up in a conversation. And I would rather just do the announcement and get it out there so that if it comes up, it's not the first time I'm talking about it. I'm sorry, this might take me a minute. Fuck. Felt more ready to do this before. In October last year, my wife and I separated. Didn't say anything at the time. Because I was hoping things would just work out and that there would never be any need to talk about the difficulties I was going through. And then a while ago, when papers were filed for divorce, again, I thought I would put it off until the divorce was final and just say something then. But not saying anything has gotten me increasingly worried. Sometimes before doing a Lunatic Live or something, I would start dreading that someone would ask how my wife was doing. And so rather than waiting for a question to come up or ending up in a conversation with somebody and having it come up, I figured I would just pull the Band-Aid off and make an announcement. And one thing I would like to say is, I know some of the people in the community here really care about me personally, and I love you too. So any thoughts or prayers, any sympathy will be appreciated. But I don't want any negativity towards my wife. And not just comments. I believe in thoughts and prayers, and I don't want anyone thinking anything negative towards her or directing any negative energy towards her. because you care about me. I still love her with a spiritual love, and she's the mother of my children. So I don't want any negativity towards her at all because of this. It's just, it's an unfortunate situation for everybody. And there's no good guys or bad guys in this story. It's just unfortunate. So if anyone's going to send positive energy or prayers, I would actually appreciate it if they pray for her as well. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat. By the way, this doesn't change anything with the channel. I'm fuck. I'm sorry, that's fucking disgusting. Don't worry, this isn't like I'm taking a break for a while. I'm moving right ahead. So yeah, that doesn't change anything. I still feel able to keep moving ahead with the channel at the moment. So Mike said, okay, so I already said hi to Rojo. And yeah, sorry, this is your first stream. I like you, Rojo. Hopefully you turn up some other time when it's a more fun Lunatic Live. And to Joanne, yeah, I'm not doing great. Mike Anderson, what's up, man? Weird to see you in the daylight. Yeah, we're moving into summer now, though. My summer self, much more active in the day, so you'll probably see me on in the day more often. Hi, Kiro. Hi, Adela, darling. Oh, and Kiro says I haven't visited this channel in a while. So were you expecting Andrew? James, hey, Merc, sorry to hear that things didn't work out. Thanks, James. Thanks for coming on and sharing this with us. Much love, brother. I'll be saying a prayer for you. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Thanks, Goff. T from you says blame is for the unenlightened. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Joanne says let it all out. I'm not going to be talking about any of the reasons. The people in my life, like in real life, none of them chose to come on YouTube. So I'm trying to keep the private lives of everybody I know private. Just there's no way I could announce I'm getting a divorce without announcing that she is. Adela says a round of light and love for everybody. Thank you, Adela. Not just for that, thanks for, and to everyone else here, thanks for everything you've done participating in the channel. And Kira's also sending love, much appreciated. Michael, thank you. Like Anderson, damn man, I wish you well. You've helped a lot of people on your streams. Well, thanks for saying that. And to add to that idea, you hear often people giving advice to people with depression to try to help somebody else, and then it'll make you feel better. It does. There's obviously been aspects of this that made it more hard at times to go through this while doing the channel. Nothing's all one thing. But largely having the channel and having so many people coming to me for help has been really beneficial. Sometimes when you're in pain, it feels really good to help somebody else. Tracy says, good luck and prayers to you. I'm not sure exactly what is happening for you, but sending positive vibes, and thanks for your help. Thank you, Tracy. I really appreciate that. Rojo says, I like you too, Mark. Your pain isn't something I think I could handle. I heard what you and Job said about me on the last music break during Grizz's live stream. The night that we did the stream, I couldn't hear what you and Job were saying. I could tell that you were talking to each other, but on my end, the music was too loud and I couldn't hear what you two were saying at all. But last night or the night before, because Ryan had commented on what you were talking about during the break when he came on. So I looked that up after. And when I watched the replay, which if anyone's interested, go to Grim Grizz, because that goes down in a few hours. It only stays up for 3 days. So if anyone wants to see when I was on Grizz's program, you can check that out. But yeah, I was able to hear it properly when I watched the replay. You said a lot of nice shit about me, Rojo. But I would like a chance to talk to you about what you said about yourself. Also, I think there was an element of golden shadow projection in what you were saying about me. Me and Grizz talked about that a bit. Fuck, I won't go any further into that right now, but I think you can handle more than you think you could. And I heard a lot of messages to you from your own soul in what you said about me. So I'll just leave it at that for now. Kiro says, the last time I was here, it was someone who was going to live in an island in the Pacific. Yes, that's Andrew. So at one point I was like you, just subscribe to the channel watching Andrew. Me and him are good friends now, and he decided to give up the channel. He'd revealed too much personal stuff. He was ready to move on and just live his life. And rather than just deleting the channel or abandoning the audience, he asked me and Ryan Holsapple to take the channel over. So if you look at the videos and you set it to oldest first, you'll see Andrew saying goodbye. He did a goodbye stream. And then you'll see the beginning of me and Ryan taking it over. Chris, hey Chris, good to see you. I love you, man. We should talk sometime. It's been too long. Chris says no good deed goes unpunished. Unfortunate circumstances, but it's good to see you, Merc. Thanks. Good to see you here too, even though I'm just seeing your name on the screen. Goff says, my advice is someone who's been through his share of breakups. Find the beauty in what was there. And forgive anyone who may require it, including yourself. Yeah, that's all wise advice. I'll verify one other piece of advice, like I did earlier, was saying it helps to help others. Before this happened, I talked a lot about how that it was important to learn how to be alone. Because if you can't be alone, you put too much pressure on a relationship. And that if you're terrified of being alone, then when you face a breakup, you're dealing with two things. The heartbreak of losing that specific person and being confronted with your fear of being alone. And it's true. Especially considering that I'm bipolar. I'm surprised I got through this and managed to handle keeping up with the channel, looking back on it. But that was only because I was only dealing with the heartbreak and the loss of this one situation. If I wasn't okay being alone, I don't know that I'd be here right now. And there are times where that has felt like cold comfort. But it could have been the difference in my survival. I don't think I would have gotten through this if I wasn't okay on my own. But I am okay on my own. Even as I said before, when things were good, I said there were times where I miss people specifically, like my wife and kids, but other than specifically missing a person, that I don't get lonely and that I'm okay on my own. Makes all the difference when going through a breakup. Mike says on a lighter note, all right, thank you, lighter note. What's the mug? What's that mug in the shape of? Oh, yeah, a lot of people seem to notice the mug. It's Jabba the Hutt. Unfortunately, like, this mug looks so fucking cool, especially when it was new and I opened it. It's like, holy shit, this is an awesome mug. And I got it very cheap. Looked just amazing. And yeah, it looks beautiful, but I haven't had it that long and it's chipped to fuck and full of cracks now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep using it. If you actually use it as a daily mug, it doesn't hold up well. Michael says, second what Gloff said, I like that you're holding no resentment. Socially, there will always be awkward moments, and really, if someone judged you over what happened, they're not worth your time. Yeah, and I wasn't worried about being judged for this. Like, fortunately, my brand is being a pathetic loser. So I've always been all about finding victory in failure, an opportunity in crisis. So it wasn't that I was worried that people were going to look down on me for this. I was worried about it coming up for the first time when a conversation about something else was going on and having to say it for the first time. Like, obviously, this didn't go well. I've cried like a fucking baby over and over. And I just didn't want that to come in out of nowhere sometime, whether it was like me and Ryan streaming or a Lunatic live or a conversation with someone. Like I might be recording a podcast with Shane later today, and I just wouldn't want something like that. And then like have Shane mention something about my wife and have to bring it up for the first time and have it derail the conversation. It's that kind of thing I was worried about. Not there. It's fucking out now. So the worst of this is over. I'm sure it won't be long until I'm mentioning this as casually as I mentioned getting dragged into the hospital naked and bloody, chained hands and feet. Not the first time saying it's hard. Oh, and if anyone's wondering why the thumbnail, if you haven't read or seen Watchmen, that's a picture of Dr. Manhattan. After he broke up with his wife, he went to Mars. And that's a picture of Dr. Manhattan sitting and holding a picture of him and his ex-wife. Next thing he does, he takes a moment to look at the stars in the photograph. Then he gets up and lets go of it, falls down onto the Martian sand, and he walks away. I couldn't bear the thought, for some reason, of the thumbnail just being my face. I didn't want to just let it take a picture. I guess I didn't feel like looking at myself, so I tried to think of a thumbnail that would capture the spirit of what I had to say. And immediately just came to mind a picture of Dr. Manhattan. I tried to find a picture of him dropping the photo, but didn't see a nice one, so I just took that. So Programs 10 says to Kiro, a lot of things have changed since then, and the channel has changed owners. Merck and Ryan are the new channel owners and are doing a great job with it, so feel free to check out. Well, thank you for saying that you feel we've done a great job with it. Ben says, what's the announcement? I'm sure you've caught up by now. Kiro, thanks for taking the time to explain. Kiro says, are you sleeping okay? Thanks for being brave to share your story. No, I haven't been sleeping well recently. Ever since I hosted the Zoom watch party, actually, whenever that was, the night before, I slept very badly because of prep. Well, because of a variety of things. And then a variety of things have kept it that I haven't been sleeping well, although I slept better last night than last night was the best I've slept since then. But it's been a variety of things that have just gotten some of it's been stresses or pressures. Some of it has just been time of year in my bipolar. Spring is when I start shifting from the winter to summer me. Once my mania starts coming in, I need to sleep less. But sometimes, I don't know if it's always, but at least sometimes there's a transitionary period that can be unpleasant where some of my manic components are coming online and causing me to not be able to sleep as long, but there's not also the manic energy to fill that much of a day. So eventually or soon, or fuck, I won't put any restrictions on it. Maybe tomorrow, at some point, as the mania kicks in more, I'll start having the energy to match the less sleep so that, I can wake up in the summer after 6 hours, 5 hours of sleep and feel just full of energy and feel great. But at the moment, I wake up, that one little manic wheel's spinning too much to let the rest of me sleep. Some days, yeah, there's been a couple days where I've lain in bed for hours in the morning trying to get back to sleep. And then I just drag my ass out of bed and have no fucking energy most of the time. Thanks for being brave to share your story. This doesn't feel brave at all. Why isn't this responding? All right. Mike says awkwardness after a breakup is worse than the breakup itself sometimes, and says just joining. I'm hoping you don't delete so I can know what's going on. No, I'm not going to delete this. And this is embarrassing. I don't like this video. I've got plenty of other old Lunatic lives with embarrassing shit in them. I've decided to ignore that. I didn't start doing this channel to make myself look good. I started doing the channel to help people. And some of the other shit that I find embarrassing and would have taken down if this was about me, is stuff that I've had people tell me really helped them. So I'm not taking this down. I'll leave it here. And if some people watch this in the future and laugh at me, that's all right. Because someone else might watch this in the future and feel better about themselves or something they're going through. Grim says, plus now there's 8 openings for groupie slots. I don't understand what that means. I think I'm a little overloaded with embarrassment at the moment, and I'm not understanding what you're saying there. And Dust says I'll have to rewatch the video, just popped in. All right. Okay, and then Grizz says I'm fairly incompetent at empathy. Oh, fuck, you don't have to say anything. This isn't the first time you're hearing any of this. You've been there for me. Yeah, and even though I haven't said anything publicly, Ryan and Grizz and Andrew have been there for me. They've known what's going on. You're not incompetent at empathy, Grizz. You were better to talk to than I think you realized. Mick Lexington says my girlfriend of 10 years and I broke up 6 months ago. It hurts less this month than it did last month. And next month will hurt less than this month. Glad it's getting easier for you. I've got the Yeah, no, I won't say what I was going to say. It would reveal things about people other than myself. Oh, wait, scrolling past. All right, Kiro says, I manage bipolar as well. Sleep is key for me. Eating roots helps for my mania. Carrot, beet, ginger, turmeric. Even if you didn't make this channel to look good, you could still cosplay Slave Leia to model the mug. All right, well, I'm glad you found your way back to the channel then, if you're bipolar. Because that's my deal. And my partner, Ryan, he's like the flip side to the coin for me. He's working towards a doctorate in Jungian psychology, and he's already like trained in various forms of nature-based coaching and therapy and shit. So Ryan's the flip of me. Ryan's like a professional therapist, and I'm the lunatic on the channel. But I talk a shitload about being bipolar on here, and it sounds like yeah, you absolutely. Sleep and eating were the first 2 things way back when I was first learning how to manage being bipolar. Big things were, first of all, accept that I was bipolar, not try to go back to normal or be in denial, just accept that I'm crazy and try to be the best crazy person I can be. And yeah, absolutely. The two most basic things of someone still learning how to deal with being bipolar is sleep and eating. You got to eat every day, whether like every day. And how much and what you eat is different for each person and all of that. And I don't give advice on diet. Um, but for me, it was just, yeah, you have to eat properly every day because when you're depressed, you cannot want to eat. When you're manic, you feel like you don't need to eat. And sleep is so important, especially in the manic phase. You don't get enough sleep, you're going to go visit the land of psychotic wonders pretty quickly. Kim says, more power and love to you. Thank you, and to you as well. Mike Anderson says, you've got nothing to be embarrassed about, man. Life gets twisted sometimes. Everyone here understands that and feels for you. Thanks. And Grizz is saying, I'm saying now you don't have to tell the groupies you're taken. Oh, I understand. Groupies like as if I was a rock star. I can help, and then I can help you manage up to 8. I'm sure you won't be burdened with having to manage many groupies, Grizz. Programs 10 says, Merc, I'm sending your whole family positive energy. Also, well done on overcoming the challenge of telling us. You may not feel brave, but you're still doing it, and that's a bravery in itself. Thanks. Dust to Dust says, that makes sense. I get more nightmares as I try to turn my clock to the right hour of day. Wait, what do you mean by that? Do you mean trying to shift your like biological clock, like your sleeping schedule to the right hour of day? Okay, Rojo's asking, what is that constant beeping noise? Like a medical monitor? No, that's a fucking malfunction in my computer or something. I barely know how to use my computer, and yeah, I'm sorry about the sound to everyone. I don't know how to fix that right now. Those weird noises are not actually in the room. It's some problem with my computer or the microphone, the built-in mic or something. Um, Hopefully I'll be able to do this YouTubing shit better soon. Because that's one thing I've done a pathetic job since we've taken over the channel. We've been doing this for over a fucking year now. And look, my video and sound quality is worse now than it's ever been. But I'm really, really, really fucking bad with computers. I don't like once I know how to do something and I've done it for a while, I'm fine with it. Like just using YouTube, I enjoy using YouTube, but also even things like emails and messages are a drain on me. And I don't like it when, yeah, I have difficulty working with computers. I don't like technology. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with how poorly I've done with all that. And even aside from the quality, there's so much more I could be doing with the channel if I made myself competent with the computer. Like the way I can't even do a live stream and share videos without having Grizz do it for me. If I could learn to do that shit myself, I would be doing so much better a job as a YouTuber. As far as like the technical side of all of this, I've failed 100% on this. I can just only make so many changes at once. So up until now, I have been allowing myself to not make progress in that. I've allowed myself not to push myself to learn basic computer skills that anyone else would consider mandatory. And instead, I've focused on just adjusting to opening up to the world. And I've focused on the conversations I'm having. I've focused on the people. And often what I do with the channel is just I'm trying to channel information from better parts of myself. So I've worked on that side of everything up till now, and I've given myself a pass on the rest because otherwise I would have gotten too stressed out and I wouldn't have done it. So I appreciate everyone's patience with that. I'm adapting to doing this, and hopefully soon, although I won't put too much pressure on myself, hopefully soon I can start trying to learn the technical aspect of this more. And hopefully at some point I can get better equipment and such. So I appreciate everybody's patience with that. Dust to Dust says, yeah, sleeping can get messed up for me. Um, yeah, and like when I was saying before to Kiro, like the importance of sleep for me, and this is something that I don't think started when I was bipolar. When I look back on my whole life, even before I was bipolar. Oh, and for Kiro or anyone else new, I became bipolar at the age I got hit by a bus when I was 26, almost 27, and that's when my bipolar kicked in. But before that, my whole life I had trouble with mornings. I always had a hard time like with early mornings. And I always didn't want to go to bed. Like even when I was a little kid, I always wanted to stay up past bedtime all through. And a few times in my life, as a teenager and an adult, I worked night shifts briefly at places. And when I got switched to a night shift, I always found that really easy to switch to and would have a brutal time switching back. Also, well, when I first moved out of home at 16 and had a place of my own, and I had like, what did I do? I had 6 or 8 months where I was living with a girlfriend at her place. And so I had no bills or anything. Um, and I was able to just live however the fuck I wanted. And like, I would stay up all night and sleep all day. Although back then it was a lot of going to punk shows and doing stuff at night. But anyway, once I became bipolar, it became, I guess, even stronger. But I think I was always wired backwards. So, like, I think I've always been wired nocturnal. And once I became bipolar, took that seriously and realized I needed to get as much sleep as possible. I just allowed myself to go with my body clock. So, and especially being a hermit, it's perfect. Like, there's no reason why you have to be awake at any particular time. So, I allowed myself just to shift to my natural sleep cycle. Let's see, when was that? 2009. So, for 11 years now, I've just allowed myself to exist on a natural cycle. And I mean, since doing the channel, there's been a couple times where I'd set an alarm and make myself wake up a little earlier on a day, or now and then over those 11 years, there'd be maybe, a psychiatrist appointment or something I had to set an alarm and get up for. So there's the occasional day where an alarm clock would be involved. But other than that, for like 11 years now, I've just allowed myself to go on my natural body rhythm. And it seems that my natural cycle is just the exact opposite of most people. So a natural wiring for a dineural person that is, awake during the day would be to wake up with sunrise. So sunrise triggers your body to want to get up, which, obviously also makes sense. I'm wired backwards. I want to go to sleep at sunset. And because I live in Canada where there's a fair change in when sunrise and sunset is, In the winter, I go to bed quite late, like right around the winter solstice. The sun really isn't coming up until almost 7 or something like that. So I'll stay up till like 6 and I really dislike. I don't like seeing the sun before I go to bed. I'm like a vampire. I want to get into my blacked out bedroom before the sun comes up. But so in the winter, I'll often stay up till like about 6. But once we get to the summer solstice, the sun's coming up like, and by sun up, I don't mean the technical sunrise. I mean when the sun starts to get that glow. That happens before 4 a.m. So around the summer solstice, I can be going to bed at, between 2:30 and 3:30. Fuck, that's not that interesting. Why am I talking so much about that? And Rojo is being nice and letting me off the hook for the shitty sound quality. Thank you, Rojo. Elder says, welcome to the club, brother. Good to see you, Elder. And I think it's great you've been doing live streams lately to help provide some people some boredom relief while they're stuck inside. Keep it up. And yeah, if you want to do some cross content, come on the channel with me sometime because I want to put out as much as I can for people stuck inside. And if you ever want me over on your channel, see if we can get you some more eyeballs, let me know. We'll post an announcement on this channel and see if we can up your numbers a little bit. Grizz says they taught me women like John Cusack. They practice inversion of truth. What? Who's they? I like the way you come up with shit out of nowhere and confuse me sometimes, Grizz. That's a nice. What's his name? What's that Snyder guy's name? But you naturally make good use of that thing he said about resetting someone's emotion by surprising them, like taking them. Fuck me, I'm not explaining that well, but you know what I'm talking about. Kiro says, Namaste, peace be with you. Happy Eat. Oh, yeah, it is Easter tomorrow, right? And Grizz says, hey, Rojo, you know how to rip before it disappears. Yeah, and so I'll throw that out to everyone else as well. I was over on Grizz's D Live a couple days ago, and I thought I had a great time with him. We did a huge fucking 4-hour stream. So if anyone wants to watch that before it disappears, I think it disappears in a few hours. But also we wanted to try to download it so that we could maybe upload some clips of it to the channel. But Grizz was having a problem doing that. So if anyone can figure out how to do that and can let Grizz know, or we're running out of time, if anyone can just wants to be a hero and download it for us so it doesn't disappear, we would really appreciate that. And just get in contact with Grizz about that. Because again, I'm really, really shitty. Like, this is something else. If I knew how to do that kind of shit, but I don't know how to do that kind of shit. So there's no point in messaging me about it. Kiro says, when will you broadcast again? What, like, to me, like, when am I going to go live or something again? The only time I do a regularly scheduled thing is every full moon. I do a live stream at midnight, and it's the midnight closest to the actual full moon. So, and it's Eastern Standard Time. So if the full moon's at 11 p.m., on the 11th, I'll go on midnight of the 11th. But if the full moon's at 1 a.m. on the 12th, I'll go live at midnight of the 11th. So I do at midnight closest to every full moon, I do a live stream. Other than that, I pop on randomly. Me and Ryan pop on live randomly sometimes together, and we also do like interviews with experts and audience guest sessions and stuff. We do recordings of those that go up at different times, just randomly when we do them. Anne says, I think you're doing an amazing job. I hope you're not being too hard on yourself. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And I would say sometimes I'm way too hard on myself, or I could word it that some sub personalities are way too hard on me. Other times I'm not hard on myself at all, or other sub personalities aren't hard on me at all. It's a mix. Oh, and there, Grizz had already answered for me. And Kiro says, "Oh, lunatic does come from the word moon, haha." Yeah, that's that worked out nicely, and that's not why I picked it. I picked it because I was thinking, like, people were asking if when I come on and whatnot, and back when I scheduled that, Ryan was scheduling himself on a regular basis too, which he stopped doing. But I just thought to myself, I was just trying to work with my own nature, the same as with my sleep schedule. So I tried to think, what could I schedule on a regular basis that would be easiest for me? And I find I struggle with order, especially too much order. So if I had scheduled, I go on live every Friday night at midnight, that would have felt regimented to me, and it would have been difficult on me. Also, I find it stressful when I have to keep track of a calendar date. If I know I have an appointment on, Tuesday the 15th, like, it bothers me to have to keep track of shit like that. However, I'm fairly in touch with nature, and I usually notice the moon, whereas I don't necessarily notice the time of day. And so I just felt like it would be easiest for me to base it not on a calendar, but on the moon cycle, because like that would just be easiest for me. And then the reason I chose midnight is that seemed like the time of day that it would be easiest for me to do it most likely. Like, it was late enough in the day that I probably, I'm not going to have my kids or something at midnight. They're going to be asleep. And I figured it was the time of day that I wouldn't have anything booked, and would be that, I'd still have plenty of energy to go live for a couple hours. So yeah, that was why I picked it. But the fact that lunatic comes from moon is a nice thing. Also, there were a couple other things that a moment ago I had to say, and they fell out of my head. Dust to Dust says, yeah, I tire throughout the day. I have the same problem. I get giddy at night. And the church helps with structure. If you find that you're really wired backwards like I am, and it's hard to be nocturnal if you're a real person. I understand that. I can be nocturnal only because I'm living in my own little world. But if you really find you're wired backwards like that, maybe see if there is a way you could structure your life around that. Like having a night job, or I think Rojo and Grim are just going back and forth there. I don't think that has anything to do with me. Where was I? Mike says that morning sun after an all-nighter is the worst feeling. Oh, yeah. And even like when I was younger and, would party all night and then see the sun come up. That was horrible. But yeah, in the cycle I'm on, even though it's just a natural cycle, Like staying up till sunrise isn't me staying up too late. It's just my normal cycle. But still, oh, it's horrible to see the sun first. So I really like it if I can get to bed. Well, I don't mind it. And it's like the sunrise is right over there. I'll see it out that window. I don't mind it if I just see the lightest touch of light that I know it's coming. But if I look up and can clearly see that lighter patch there that the sun's coming up before I go to bed, I do not like it. So usually I go to bed while it's still pitch black. But if I look up and see just the lightest slight bit of it, I go straight to my bedroom, and I've got heavy black curtains in there. So that's like my crypt that I can crawl into. Although I love the sun once I wake up. In the summer, like when I wake up, the minute I get up, sometimes I will just walk straight outside in my boxers and stand in the sun for a second before going in and going through my morning routine. I love the sun in the summer, but only when I'm getting up, not before I'm crawling into my crypt. Now, Dust to Dust says, I like catching the sunrise. It's interesting how different we can be. And like, I know Dust to Dust and me have lots and lots in common. It's neat how you can have so much in common with someone and then be the exact opposite on different things. Grizz says it's relatable. People like being related to. Well, I don't know what you're referring to, but yes, people do like being related to. Kiro understands the seasonal part, being in Minnesota. Grim says, I like interviewing people. I'd probably have you on too. Oh, okay. And you're talking to Elder, and Elder said that would be awesome, man. Which I'm assuming is the invitation to do some content together. So excellent. Also, if anyone else is watching, a bunch of people have expressed in messages and comments that they appreciate that me and Ryan have been putting out more content since I'll call it Captain Trips from the stand, and with everyone stuck inside. So I'm trying to get as much content out as I can. And there's no promises because I never know when I'm going to fall apart or whatnot. But so long as I'm able, I'm going to try to put out as much content as I can. I would also like to support anyone else who's trying to do the same thing. So any members of the community, if you're trying to get your own channel started, or if you've had a channel for a while, I know how hard it can be for people to launch a channel. Like getting the first few subscribers is very hard. I don't know what it's like to go through it. Like I don't consider myself a YouTuber in a way that like I don't know what it's like to start a YouTube channel. I didn't build this channel. I got handed something working and just didn't completely destroy it. But I do get that there are tons of videos out there with 0 views. So anyone in the community that's trying to put out content and isn't getting any eyeballs, let me know. And what I'll do for anyone like that is I can make an appearance on your platform, and I'll post an announcement here on this channel so people can find it. Oh, okay. You were replying to Michael about that. All right. And Michael's pleased to know that he's better looking than John Cusack. Okay. And Grizz gave everyone the link to his channel in the chat. So if you want to see our conversation, go check it out. Or if you think you can help us download it so that we can upload some clips from it here, there's the link. Also, I think Grizz was not too upset with my performance and will probably have me back on. So anyone who's interested in hanging out when I go on with Grizz, on D Live, go subscribe or follow or whatever it's called on D Live to Grim Grizz. Because if he's willing to have me back on, I will be back on. Oh, and Grizz also put up our Discord. So, yes, join our Discord. Grizz says some of us go there naked. I didn't realize anyone was doing that. But yeah, definitely join our Discord. If you're interested in being more involved. I don't use the Discord much myself. I look through it a bit more than I interact, but there's some fantastic conversations going on there. Also, fuck. I won't try to sell it anymore. Rojo says, don't tease me, Grim, to join your Discord with naked pics. Yeah, you better not be teasing, Grizz. You're getting Rojo to join our Discord with the promise of naked pictures. He should get naked pictures. Dust to Dust says the brain reacts to negative emotion more than anything else, unfortunately. I keep training my brain with what I can, must not to think that way. Okay. Often it seems like the brain reacts to negative emotion more. But on the other end, I respond quite powerfully to ecstatic, expansive moments. There's quite a bit on the extreme positive end that's very motivating as well. Oh, now Grizz is claiming he didn't say anything about Pix Rojo, and chat jumps around a bit for me here, so I don't know what Grizz did or didn't say. All I was saying is that Grizz should follow through with what he's offering. Kiro says, may I ask how long were you and your partner married? Okay, that's a harmless question, but for now, I'm going to not answer that. I'm a very, very, very open person. I ramble. I'm afraid of saying something I shouldn't. Like my wife or soon to be ex-wife, whatever, is not a public person. So even though it's not like it's a perfectly fine question to ask, I'm sure I'll state that at some point in the future. Because there's nothing wrong with just saying that. But for now, I'm not going to answer any more questions just because I'm afraid that I will start. Because actually, it would be easier on me if she was a public person. No, shit, no, I don't even want to continue down that road. I'll just say that, yeah, I like being really open and honest. I like just dumping everything out on the table as much as I can. And because I know I have that desire, I'm not even going to answer a simple question further about that right now. Sorry about that. Dust says, strangely enough, I used to listen to punk, but I'm not sure how much we have in common there. Michael says, anyway, Merc, glad to see you're keeping everything together. Take care of yourself, man. See you next time. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. And maybe we'll have another Zoom watch party again sometime soon. It was really great getting to know you there. I really enjoyed that, getting to see a bunch of the community members' faces and hear you all speak. Okay, this is a beautiful line, Patty. Hope everyone is suffering well. Yeah, I think I'm suffering very well lately. Dust Dust says Suicide Machines, Casualties, One Man Army, Ramones, so many bands I forgot. Casualties are really good, but then yeah, Ramones and Ramones tattoo that says Gabba Gabba Hey. So we have some in common there. The Ramones are actually the first band I ever saw live. I like a week after I turned 16. Fuck, I love the Ramones. And Kiro says, "No worry, it's good to have boundaries." Thank you, I appreciate that. Do I like Social Distortion? I've heard a couple Social Distortion songs that I really liked. I just never really checked them out further, and I'm not sure why I never did. A lot out there to listen to. There's lots of things I've encountered that I'm like, that seems cool, and then I just never really look into them any further. Oh, and so I guess the other thing is I've never had like a good friend that was really into them. Because sometimes that's how you get into a band is, a friend really likes them. So when you comment you like a song, they play it a lot. Although that's not how I've gotten into most bands. Most bands that I love, I just found them on my own. Like when I was a kid, I used to love going through just like looking through all the cassettes. And like I bought lots of shit that I didn't like, but I also would buy shit that I'd never heard of before. And I was basing it all off cover art. Um, Except no, I discovered the Ramones because I discovered Motorhead based off cover art, the awesome Snaggletooth. Had heard the Motorhead song Ramones. Is that fuck? I don't know. Maybe that was how that one happened. Most bands that I love, I had no idea what they sounded like when I bought their cassette because back in the day there was no fucking internet. Oh, Ryan's here. Hey, Ryan. Ryan says, "Hey, brother, I'm just seeing this now. I started back at the beginning. I know you've been dealing with keeping this quiet for a long time, and I think it's very courageous of you to tell everyone." Well, thanks. It still doesn't seem courageous to me because to me it was just I was more afraid of. Okay, that's why this doesn't feel brave. This doesn't feel brave because I'm actually doing this to a certain degree out of fear. I have, and not that it's been like a huge fear I think about all the time or anything like that, but I pay attention to my fears. And I have noticed that now and then I have a moment of being afraid about this coming up randomly. And I didn't want to have to deal with it the first time at random, not knowing when it could come up. And I paid close attention. And just recently, that has come up more often. For instance, I noticed it when I was on with Grizz a couple times. I was meeting new people like Rojo and Job, and they were like coming in on the Zoom and asking me questions. And somehow I lucked out completely. They were asking me all sorts of questions. And not once did either of them ask if I was married or single or anything like that. Although Rojo asked Grizz. And the moment where Rojo asked Grizz was one of the moments where that fear came up. Where I was like, fuck, I don't want to say this publicly for the first time. Now, in this, I don't want to derail anything from getting to know Rojo and Job. So I did this out of fear, not out of bravery, is the way it seems to me. Um, oh, and Ryan gave $5 and said, "Love you, brother. I love you too." And thank you so much, Ryan, for all your support because Ryan was really helpful to me getting through this. And I can go and get a psychologist anytime I want. I have access to a couple different kinds of services. The only professional I see is I see my psychiatrist once a year, but my psychiatrist is garbage to talk to. The only thing I use my psychiatrist for is to get my sleeping pill prescription refilled, or if I ever want to try a different medication that's appropriate, I can go to him and talk to him about that. Although even then, it's a pain in the ass. I really wish I had a different psychiatrist. I know tons of other people who find him brutal. It's just I live in buttfuck nowhere, Quebec, and there's only one psychiatrist available. Um, there's some decent psychologists around that I've had and some not so good, but even the best psychologists that I've had or the best therapist I've had is not like nowhere near as good as Ryan is. um, so there have been times since the separation where I might have had to have talked to someone, like might have applied and like to see what psychologist was available, but I didn't because I had Ryan to talk to. And I don't know who's available now. It's been a long time since I've applied for one, but there's no doubt in my mind that Ryan's better than anything available here. He's better than anyone I've ever spoken to before. And he was very, very helpful to me at some points getting through this. So thank you, Ryan. I hope I've shown enough appreciation. Nolan says, "Hey, Mark, I'm sorry to hear about your situation. I'll be praying for you and your family." Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Nolan. I love you. You're a good friend, and you've been a fantastic member of the community here. So thank you for that. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's gotten this going, or kept this going with us. Because it wouldn't have mattered how much work me and Ryan put into the channel if nobody had watched, if nobody had interacted. And while there are times where doing the channel has been really hard on me, it's also been really fun and rewarding. And most importantly, it has been a part of my spiritual path and it has been meaningful. And we couldn't have done that without you. And a lot of people here, so this goes out to everyone. I'm directing it at Nolan, but this should ripple out to everyone else. I couldn't have done this without you. I'm glad you all participated and, built this place on top of the foundation Andrew provided with us. We all built this place together, and it's been very rewarding for me. Dust to Dust says, "I have the same fears about what I've been through. Don't undermine how tough it is to put yourself out there when you feel as ego blown as it does with the shit we deal with." Thank you. Grizz says, "If you'd like to support the channel, comment activity tells the algorithm you really like us." Yeah, and if you want to support the channel, and you don't want to interact at all, if you want to be an invisible lurker, but you want to support the channel, you can still like the videos. That helps. If you're willing to visually support the channel, but you don't want to say anything about yourself, sharing videos really helps, or just recommending the channel to people you think might like it. And if you don't mind, speaking up, comments, once the video goes up, interaction in chat really helps. And I don't know if at some points it's intentional or whether it's accidental with YouTube, but it seems like lately not all notifications go out and some people have trouble finding videos. So your best chance is to hit the all notifications, but also depending what happens with YouTube, maybe even you might just have to check the channel once a week, because me and Ryan are going to be trying to put shit out there. So if it seems like we're doing nothing, maybe just go directly and check the channel. Ed Kiro says, Ryan, are you the other owner? And yes, he is. Okay, the rest was people talking to each other. Holy fuck, I have been on for over an hour. I intended this to be a quick announcement. I said everything I want to say, I think. I'm just checking. Did I leave any? Is there something I started saying and trailed off and didn't get back to? Um, I'm really glad you joined us today, Kiro. Have a safe Easter if you do that. Yeah, thanks. So I hope you have a great day, and maybe we'll see each other on here sometime. So at that, are we all ready to leave, or did I leave something unsaid? Or did I miss a comment that was important? Or does anyone have anything they want to ask? Like, I'm not saying I suddenly need to leave. I can hang out for a few more minutes if anyone else has anything else to say. Oh, also, I'll throw out, even though, oh shit, Mike Anderson just gave $2 and said, much love, man. Stay strong. Thank you so much, Mike. Um, unless I'm mistaken, that is the first donation. Like, that's the first super chat we've had that wasn't from Grizz or Ryan. Now, Grizz has given a couple super chats, but that felt to me a little bit, sorry, and not to be unappreciative, Grizz, but that felt a little bit like a cheat, like not a real super chat, because we're good friends now, Grizz. And Ryan, yours didn't feel like a real super chat either. Again, no offense, but because you're my fucking partner here and you tipped half of that to yourself. Well, we're just going to put that $5 into the channel. But that's amazing, Mike. Thank you. That was my first ever like full blown real super chat. I really appreciate that. And oh, and just so people know, if giving a super chat to me or Ryan or when both of us are on makes no difference. That's going to the channel, not to me directly. At the moment, the channel's been costing us more money than we've been making in the ads and donations. Oh, and we've had a couple donations, not many. But a huge shout out to Boy Meets Wart if you ever watch this. Unless I'm mistaken, he's been our biggest donator. But so far, Ryan's been going out of pocket on the channel. So the money people donate will be going to getting the channel paying for itself first. So I really appreciate that because I've been feeling bad that Ryan's gone out of pocket so long. And I have been working to try to see if we could get the channel just self-sufficient so that money didn't come out of his pocket. So I really, really appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much. Grizz says, it's adorbs how he always thinks it'll just be a quick little thing. Yeah, fuck. I do this so often. Although I've done it twice, I think. I do have 2 short videos, but those don't count because the internet stopped working. So like Quiet Time with a Chipmunk is only 3 minutes. But that's because I didn't even know I was actually streaming. The whole thing froze up. I have another 6-minute Lunatic live, and it's because it started malfunctioning. But I do have at least 2 where I thought I would go on quickly, and I did. At the very least, this might be goodbye. I definitely remember that one. I said, I'm going to go on. It'll be short. And that was short. But it is extremely rare that I think there's so many times I've gone on and said, I'll just go on for a minute, or I'll go on and then I'll take this down. And then I don't take it down. I think I've never taken anything down after. Oh, except a couple, again, with technical problems that had nothing worth leaving up. So it is funny when I think I'm going to take something down after, because I've never done that. Or 9.9 times out of 10 when I say I'm just going to pop on and say something, it turns into a ridiculous long rambling. The upside is people say they want content, so hooray, we accidentally got over an hour out of me unexpectedly. Patty says this channel helps us all connect with a small group of people that have chosen a path to go within. Most people get off the highway while we seem to be on open roads. Beautifully said. Mike says, when do you plan on doing Zoom again? I'm not sure. I have nothing specific planned. Although it was possible. Grizz, are you and me possibly going on later tonight over on Grim Grizz? And if we weren't, would tonight be a good night to just watch a movie together? But like a watch party where I actually tell everyone to shut the fuck up for the movie. Or we pause the movie every so long, but every so often, but you don't interrupt. Maybe I could watch a movie later tonight with everyone, with a bit of conversation in between if they want. Or maybe I'll appear on Grim Grizz tonight. I'm not sure. Oh, right. Also, I've got a conversation with Shane today that's being recorded. Although he might even prefer to do a Zoom party with that time, and me and him could record the day after. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something tonight. Ryan says, shout out to Mercury for his honesty and shout out to Grizz for his help with the channel. Yeah, and Grizz, you've been amazing. Grizz has put so much time into trying to show me how to use my computer and get shit going. He's like, every time I do a private conversation with someone or record something, he sets up the Zoom link and everything and handles uploading it to the channel. So I would not be doing as much as I'm doing without Grizz helping on the technical side. And he's so fucking patient with me. Like, he put a bunch of time into trying to teach me how to use OBS. I never fucking got it right. All I did was freaked out. And then since like I backed off, and I'll try again sometime, but at the moment I've got a couple sub personalities that freak the fuck out at the thought of OBS because of the way that went. But Grizz was really fucking patient with me. And I really appreciate it. But also anyone who appreciates that more content's gone up recently should appreciate Grizz's help as well. Hero says, can someone teach me how to super chat? I have no idea how to super chat. I don't know how that works at all. So it would have to be somebody other than me. Okay, it looks like Ryan's answering. Okay, I'll skip you guys talking to each other. Oh, and Mike says, no problem. Happy to help out. It's really cool. You're both on here too. Love both of y'all. Thank you so much. Kanthka the White. That's a neat name. Says, yo, what's going on? I could try to redo the last hour and 20 minutes, but instead maybe just rewind it if you're interested. Shane says, oh, hey, cool. Shane's here. I was talking about you. Hey, just got here. Technically, aren't you donating to yourself every time you do a stream? Okay. Where? Fuck, hold on, this is freezing up. Okay, Gris said it's called investing when you pointed at yourself. Good point. Dust says, I hope the channel isn't too overly financially overbearing. Well, for me, and I'll be like, yeah, I just want to say I'm not the one who's taken on any of the financial part at all. Ryan's kept it up. It hasn't been me, it's been him. He's paid for everything. Up until recently, I tried to be the one to pay for the last subscription or whatever for Zoom. I tried to pay for that, but then I asked Grizz to help me make the payment, and then it was easiest for Grizz to make the payment and then me send it later, because the first way I tried to send him money didn't work. And then Grizz wouldn't let me reimburse him. So Grizz donated the last Zoom payment. But up till now, that's been all Ryan, and I don't even know how big a burden that's been on him fully. So all credit there goes to him. And again, thank you, Ryan, for doing that. Levi says, rethinking my YouTube and watching a lot of bad YouTube, scary world out there, thinking of doing comedy style videos and sort of skits and characters. Very cool. I would like to see that. I enjoyed your Proudcast. I didn't see another one go up, and I've really enjoyed, like, your music's great too. I absolutely love your cover of Help. Like, I listened to that over and over multiple days. That was a great version. If you ever want to record something for me to use on Lunatic Live, let me know. I like your sound. Hey, Daniel. Oh, it seems Kenthga the White got out of line because this message has been deleted. Oh, Daniel wants a watch party. Okay, so Shane, or wait, am I getting confused? This is the same Shane that we were talking about talking later today, right? Are you still here? And Grizz says we could do something somewhere for sure. Okay, so we're gonna do something somewhere tonight. We haven't decided if we're doing it on Grim Grizz or if we're doing a Zoom party again. And Daniel says it's great that we're doing this channel. Shit, stop jumping around. Okay, so Shane says, yeah, dude, I'm game to watch you guys talk or something. But also, okay, I hope I'm not mixing up two Shanes here. But I'm thinking this is the Shane I'm talking to later. I might be able to do, like, to record our podcast together and then do the watch party. But I'm wondering if that's going to push the watch party too late. So if that was the case, would you want to reschedule our podcast for a different day? And that way we could do a longer Zoom party or a longer thing with Grim? Or do you, I'm sorry, like, if you have something prepared and you want to do it today, you're ahead of the party. And shit, this makes you look really bad publicly. I'm sorry. So I'll put it the other way, or maybe we can record a little bit earlier, but I don't know about your schedule. Fuck yeah, I just thought about that way that looks that I asked you publicly if you want to rearrange a one-on-one with me for the party. Sorry, man. No, this is going to work out. We'll have time for everyone. Chris says party foul, justice dispensed. Everyone who has a wrench, please shout yourself out in Discord support. And Grizz says, thanks for everyone's civilized behavior. That was my first wrench this month. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like the community here is amazing. The moderators have to do so fucking little. That Kerr says, hey, Mark, I just got here. I'm glad to see you being well. Lots of blessings from Edinburgh, Scotland. That is so fucking cool. Great to see you. Oh, holy shit. Programs 10 just gave a $20 super chat. Holy shit. Thank you very much. That's not just a cup of coffee. Since we're doing super chat first, here's my first super chat. I keep telling myself I'm going to donate to the channels I like, so today I'm finally doing it. Thanks, Merc. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Levi says, yo, just rewound the video briefly. Hope you'll be okay, bud. You say stay strong, keep well. I've been kind of anxious to put myself out there. I'm not sure what direction I want to take. Okay, well, thanks. And yeah, I'm gonna be all right. I've weathered the worst of this emotionally. Well, hopefully, I've weathered the worst of this emotionally. I got past the most dangerous suicidal part. I'll be all right. And so with you saying you've been kind of anxious to put yourself out there, you're not sure what direction you want to take. So I don't know if you were around earlier, but I was making the offer that because I think right now with everyone needing to social distance, like social connection via the digital dimension is really good for the like each of us as individuals psychologically, which then spreads out into society. And so anything I can do to help right now, whether that's doing one-on-one conversations with people who are struggling, whether it's recording podcasts with people or doing content for this channel, or whether that's helping launch other members of the community. So if you want to do a podcast sometime on your channel with me, what we can do is we can do the same thing that I did for Grizz's event the other night, where I posted a short announcement on this channel so that people in this community could find us. And then we could have a talk sometime. And whatever you wanted to do, whatever kind of show you want to put on, if I could help out in some way, just let me know. All right, so I think I'm caught up with chat, unless... Yeah, I'm caught up. And says, sending love and light to you and your family, Mark, healing, peaceful vibes to all. Thank you so much, Anne. I truly appreciate that. And maybe that's one of the reasons, like I'm sure I've said a few times recently that my last major breakdown was very extreme and was something that usually, like, once I've gotten that far, it's a much longer recovery time. And usually once it's gone that far, it goes like more out of control. Or sorry, that I actually go out of control and there's misbehavior on my part. This time I really broke down and was able to control my own behavior. I didn't punch myself in the head once out of control, which might sound pathetic, but that's a big win for me when I hit those states. But I commented how I was able to deal with it in a different way this time than ever before. I went through it much more quickly than ever before. I was healing from it more quickly. That this time there was a lot more powerful internal transformations. I had a subpersonality come back to life that I thought had been dead since I got hit by the bus. And perhaps one of the reasons that Okay, and this sounds fucking cheesy and whatnot, but like my magical self or some of my magical subpersonalities, the way they've experienced this is that as a lunatic magician, I have just leveled up. That my past breakdown, I leveled up not even one level. Like I jumped a couple levels. And it's possible that part of the reason I was able to do that, okay, like I said on Grizz's stream the other day, magic involves taking the power of consciousness seriously. And I was explaining on Grizz's stream that you don't talk about certain parts of magic because you don't want other people thinking about it because they can interfere with your magical process with their own consciousness, even if they don't think they're a magical being. So it's entirely possible. Oh, and just, I don't know if magic is real or not. If magic is real, I do real magic. If magic isn't real, I'm delusional that I have magical powers and all I get from my rituals are psychological benefits. You can look at it however you want, but assuming magic's real, or this is how it worked on me psychologically. But I'm going to let the lunatic magician within me speak, and his frame of reference is that magic is more real than everything else. So it's possible that the reason I was able to level up this time when I encountered the harbinger of the gods of chaos and my screaming suicides is that having done this channel so long and having so many of you really fine souls caring about me, you may all have participated in my magic. Your thoughts and prayers. Also, some of you may be projecting some golden shadow on me, even. But definitely the thought, and I know some of you are even magical, and some of you magically minded folks have been doing prayers and blessings for me. It's possible that that's part of why I was able to level up recently the way I am. I'm surprised that I'm on YouTube right now doing all of this, considering everything that's gone on for me over the past months. And it's entirely possible that that's because of thoughts, or partially, I'm not going to, it's partially my own doing as well. But partially that could be thanks to all of you who have been sending positive energy or whatever kind of prayers, however you frame it. Okay, Shane says, yeah, dude, earlier is good. Let's put it out there. Just want to maybe talk about how you've been dealing with the current global situation and then dreams. Okay, cool. So I'll wrap up this live stream soon. I'm not going to ramble for another hour. I'm going to wrap up the live stream soon. Then I'm going to take care of a couple things, and then I'll get back to you. We'll record our podcast. And then at some point, me and Grizz will post something as to whether or not we're doing a Grim Grizz or a Zoom watch party. And then we'll do that later tonight. And if anyone wants, no, wait, I won't take a vote on that. We'll just see. And Nolan agrees with me that Levi records really good covers. Mike says, I feel like this quarantine has given me ADHD. Can't get any of my schoolwork done. I'm a week behind now. I've always had to go to the library or a quiet place, but I can't do that now. I'm sure what to do. Shit, I'm sorry to hear that. Can you do a meditation? Like, can you go into a meditative state? Are you capable of strong visualization? Could you meditate and go to the library there? Calm yourself, set the mood, and then open your eyes and get your work done? I don't know. Maybe that's not helpful. Levi votes that magic is real. went into incognito after the Dark Ages. Dragons are also real. We cannot find the bones because they were grounded and sold as medicine. Mind me, I got high after 20 past 4. Dust to Dust says, been praying for you and everyone coming. Dust to Dust says, I'll be Discord. Programs 10 saying to Mike, I feel like the quarantine has doubled or tripled my existing ADHD. I've been trying to use some blocking software and putting my phone away to keep me on task, but it's still a struggle. Mike says, don't know about magic, but I do believe setting intentions such as praying and sending out positive energy is beneficial for most. Cool. Yeah. And I don't care how other people frame things. I've got sub-personalities with just about every opinion. How people feel about religion, God. I'm happy to be friends with good atheists, with good Christians, with good Muslims, with good voodoo practitioners, with good witches, agnostics, all of it. Grim says, I'm out of pocket from here till my 9 Zoom party for sure. Might stream it to boot. Programs 10 says, I like that meditation idea. I think I'll try that later today. Cool. I'm glad that was helpful. Meditation's a good idea. I have to try that. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I've committed myself to 2 other things. Recording a podcast with Shane, which everyone can look forward to in the near future, assuming we don't fuck it up and decide not to post it. And there's going to be some kind of hangout or watch party or something later tonight. I'll post a quick video letting people know later where to go. Levi says, I'm an infinitist. I believe there's no such thing as no such thing. Infinity means everything exists infinitely. All right. So thank you so much for the love and support. Like to me personally, with what I'm going through, for the prayers, for all the messages. Then on the side of the channel, thank you so much for all of your support and for the super chats today. That was an pleasant, unexpected surprise. Hopefully I will see some or all of you later tonight. And on that note, I'm going to end this. Blessings and Lunatic love doll.